Hey, Robin here. I'm holding an ICOA-15ABT. Okay, it's missing a few pieces, so why don't we put the whole thing back together again and see what it looks like and figure out how good it is. So let's talk a bit about what we see here as we put it back together again. So first I want to thank everybody who watched the live disassembly video I made of this just the other day. So if you're looking for that, it is available. It is a little long, an hour and a half, because everything that, could go wrong in taking things apart sometimes does. And, things don't always go the way to plans. That's why they take longer than putting them back together again. So here we are talking about everything you need to know about how this works and how good it is and why you are investing a little bit more in having this guy. Now, so far out of all the speakers that I've taken apart and I've seen over the years of like 25 plus, this has got a really nice design. Everything's taken the extra little bit of time, and we're all about shortcuts today. And in this particular piece of hardware, those shortcuts do not exist. All the 4 ports that are on the unit to help balance it out are actually made and manufactured so this way they maximize performance. Now, they could have taken a shortcut and maybe made them smaller or narrower or did something, because they ran into issues. They had to put them on angles so this way they'd fit in the box that they wanted. So they actually adjusted them. They're all cut and reattached in a particular way. They're all molded to fit in, and then they're glued epoxied into place. I mean, this is all very, very impressive. Now, you'll also notice all the reinforcements that are going on. The entire thing is really well made with all the actual reinforcement brackets everywhere, all over the place. 16 screws are going to hold this whole thing together, and 4 of those are tensioning screws, which are very impressive. I'll show you how that works when we get to the back half. For the handles, they've added metal reinforcement bars onto the side. Based on the detail of the inside molding, I'm going to say it's probably gas injected, because you wouldn't have the quality of everything that you see here unless it was gas injected. So the speaker driver is going to get installed first, so we're going to get that going. Very important. We've taken all the clips off so this way we can put it all back together again. So let's get the screws, let's put the actual driver in place and talk about that. So here we go. This is our first piece that we're going to reattach. So what you're looking at here is a 15-inch driver, and this happens to be replacement part number FB1550-1 with a power handling of 200 watts and an impedance of 8 ohms. So if you're looking for it, there you go. There is another number on it, but I'm assuming that's a serial number, and I'm going to keep that private because it's mine. Though I did say it in the live, so I mean, if you still got a chance to see that, you'd see it there. Now this speaker has a top and a bottom, but more importantly, the way this cable assembly is set up here, the cables are short, so I'm assuming it's going to happen on this side. So we got to move this driver 180 and make it face the other way. So I will say, when I took it apart, that 2.5, maybe 3 screws were over torqued a little bit. Now I say that because at the factory, these things are done with a machine. They're torqued on. So let's get all the way around here and make this happen. So and there you go, the speaker drivers are reassembled and we're ready to clip it in. So we're going to check and make sure we get the positive and negative. So after checking, we've seen this one has the negative, this one has the positive. We're also going to make sure that our spades are facing upright. So again, double check. So there you go, after double checking, and look at that, the wire harness is sitting happy. Negative's on one side, positive, and there's a little plus and minus right there, so we're good on that part. Slide the rubber boots back on, just like that. This is all ready to go. Let's put that here for now. This part is done, so let's flip this over and get to our next step. So let's take a good look. On this side, I've got a handle that's already installed. On this side, I removed the handle. So we're going to be reinstalling the handle on the side because I wanted to see what it looked like. Now to install it, probably best to do it upside down. This is the handle. It's actually 3 pieces all kind of put together. So we've got a nice plastic finish buffed nice on the outside, metal bar on the inside. And yeah, and then rubber on this side. I mean, it's really well done. And it uses screws, but more importantly, it doesn't go into the plastic. It goes to the back, and it has these square nuts that go into a track. So we'll put that together. And how we're going to do that? We're going to put it on its back side here. And there's a tapered edge on it. So we have to match the tapered edge with the molding on the box, and everything has to get in there. And there you go. Now the hard part is this does have to get in there, so we may have some finishing to do. So what I've done is I've already gotten the screws started because I need it in an upright position. Now I just have to hold it securely in place. It's all the way down there. so it doesn't spin, and then I'll be able to tighten it up, and it seems to be working, so that's a good thing. So that's the tweeter. The diaphragm's inside there, unless you actually have to replace diaphragm, which is, by the way, very nice that you can replace the diaphragm. 4 screws let you get in there, but if there's nothing wrong with it, don't mess with it. It's just another way to break something. Very nice. Has a small sponge pad attached to the front, so this way we can put that whole thing back together again. The whole box assembly is 2 parts. Now, this is the actual horn. Now, what I like is that, unlike most horns, this horn here has a shape to it. It's got a slot for the actual tweeter, which is very impressive. So that is very nice design, worked out really well. That's what controls the 60 by 90 orientation of the whole thing. Only 2 screws. It may appear to need 4, but there's only 2. So that's all done with an Allen key. So again, we'll get this lined up. All right, so here we are, nice and tight, everything snug, back together again, ready to go into its housing. Now, just for an educational FYI, if you notice, this is very shallow, so there's going to have to be some DSP processing, something different. Normally, when a tweeter horn is in line with a driver, this is pushed back to line up with the actual core of the speaker driver. The woofer on the bottom magnet would line up, so they both be in the same spot. But this actually has to be brought in tighter because it has to sit physically in front of the whole thing. So again, more engineering going on there. Look at this box. This box was built to take a pounding, eh? It's designed to not add any acoustics to the actual driver, the sound coming out from the woofer behind it. That is very impressive. Again, I mean, I see these things and I go, somebody had to think of this, somebody had to worry about this, and somebody had to engineer all of this to be just right and to not create any sound effect to the box itself. And pretty savvy, pretty smart. And this is another cool thing. Look at the size of the hole in the back of this thing. It's going to line up and let the actual driver, the actual main tweeter driver, to sit right through the box. Look at this. Is this not cool? Let's get the wire through there. Look at that. It's its own little seated compartment. Now we just need to put in the screws all around. And if it seems like, which I was just noticing that, if all the screws are crooked, they all are. They're all tapered inward to go into the main box. So this way they all go into place. That's very smart. Again, another one of those little things, eh? So I'm going to reset this speaker up to its original format, which is a stand-up setting, which means this guy's going to get plugged into here, and this is going to sit this way. How do I know it sits this way? The wire first is kind of like flexy, happy to be there, but more importantly, there's a tiny little logo here where it says LD, and it lines up the logo down here that says LD. So that's just going to ultimately tell us where the orientation is to go up. Now, important, the wire, this is the tricky part. The wire has to get just pressed in here to make sure that it's all happy. So we're going to plug it in. I've learned this. We don't want the wire bouncing around or anything like that, or especially hitting the driver. So we're going to make sure that this is in position right here. It doesn't go underneath. It just gets a squeeze. And so there we are. Everything we need to tighten down is all tightened down. Everything's reassembled. It's now lined up. LD versus LD right here. Plugged back in, plugged into the main unit inside. Rubber feet all around the top, this way to make sure that there's no vibrations from the covers. And now what we got to do is finish the bottom half. So I know this might be hard to see, but inside of here are 4 steel rods. There's going to be 16 screws all together. 12 of them are going to get screwed around the actual perimeter of the actual box. 4 of them are going to get screwed to here. Now, when I disassembled it, I did take these off just to see what was going on, and it was more or less me missing the point. So I'm just going to give them a quarter turn or try just to make them snug again, make sure I don't want anything coming loose. Doesn't take a lot. I just need to tighten them up. Now, when you look at these, what's going on is that most speakers are attached only from the perimeter around the side. These are designed to pull the back and the front together tighter. Now, that's going to put tension on the whole box. That's going to make the whole thing even much more rigid than you would normally see most other speakers that I've ever looked at up to this point. This is very impressive. This is going to make the box very strong. Putting the box under tension like this is going to stop the box from making a lot more extra energy through the box, sound that comes off the box. So you want to dampen that as much as possible. This is going to do it. It's going to stop the box from vibrating and shaking dramatically. I mean, that's a genius piece of hardware. And again, somebody had to think this shit up and somebody else had to make it happen. There it is. Very, very impressive. Again, we're looking at a good rib management system. So that's all the extra plastic that we see lining the speakers. It allows the speaker to be a certain thickness, but still have all the rigidity, force that it needs to, well, to keep the thing sounding great. So that's very important. Also, it has fly points. These guys here, these are all molded in. They're on the top, they're on the back, they're on the bottom. Multiple points. So if you want to hang this, it's got a very good management system inside of it. You'll also see, I don't know if you can catch it from there, but all the actual feet have metal plates on the inside. So they're not just screwed into the plastic, something that's going to fall apart. They're all properly secured with an actual metal plate on the inside. So this way they're going to stay put and they're going to be there for a long time. The mounting pole bracket on the bottom is made out of steel, again with a steel plate reinforcing the whole thing on the bottom. It's got 2 points for adjustment. So when you look at it from the bottom, you've got a 5-angle tilt. So if it's close up to an audience, you can tilt it down. So you have it high on the pole, tilt it down. So this way everybody hears it properly. Very nice. The big hole in the back, of course, that's where the amp plate's going to go. So let's get the front back on. Get it back under tension, which is, again, I'm going to say that because that's very impressive. And we're all set to go. Bottom, top, the LD logo is going to go at the bottom. Here we go. So the screws that are here and the screws that are here are the ones that are going to be securing the actual rods, and we're going to put those in first. So again, these aren't your normal screws. These are proper threaded machine screws. And because they go straight into those rods down below. So let's finish this off. We're going to do a zigzag here. Okay, so there you go. That part's all done. Now we're going to get all the other screws in. So and there we go. The whole thing in here is secured. So now we're going to spin it around and we're going to get to the amp. So here we go. This is the amp plate. Everything you need to know, the bottom half and the top half. When we turn it around, of course, this part is secured. That's the preamp portion with the display on top right here. A ribbon cable that comes down here. Power management system is down here. So this is where you're going to find the actual amplifier and the actual power supply. Everything's all in here. So caps, name it, all the parts that are important. Again, if I was an actual engineer, I would go through and tell you everything, but my impression is we're looking at some preamp chips, some power chips on the other side, D-class power amp. Power management system is very impressive. And yes, it was brought, somebody made a comment that they had to replace this because they actually had a power cord that was too short up here and they damaged that. And they went, you know, it would have been nice if that was separated, maybe up here. And this way it would have used wires to jump there in case you had to replace this one piece. See the plug part, 2 screws. Anyways, there's a circuit board on the back of it right there. See, that's the back. That's the front, back, front. Circuit board attached right to the plugs, which is very impressive. But, you know, again, some soldering, as the viewer said. He's got one of these speakers and he had to replace this. And he did it. He fixed it. He took it apart, put it all back together again, and it worked. So good for him. Power switch, that's it. Everything else, it's ready to go. We're going to slap this on the back. So this whole speaker gets plugged in. The tweeter and the woofer, there's one plug right there. That hole right there. And that's it. This will be all installed. So let's make this happen. So this is the slot that we're going to be working with. Here's our amp plate that's going to be going in there. And yeah, so all we need to do now is plug it in. Now, they were very smart with the engineering because they put a little notch in the box here so you can unlock it safely. And so now we're just going to slide this guy right back in there. Just like that. So see, I can unlock it just by pushing my thumb on that side. Very smart. This is going to go back together again just by sliding in here. And then all the screws are going to go in all the way around. And there we go. All in, perfect, just as it was before. Right, so now the last piece, which is going to be the cover, and there are metal plates down the sides, inside here. So these are going to get secured on with proper threaded screws. So they're not wood screws of any sort of plastic made screws. These are threaded into the metal, so this way, if you have to get in and out of here on a regular basis, you will do it without ruining the screw or the threads. Cover, which by the way, very nice cover. Got a dampener in it. You can spin the logo. There's a spring on the back side, so that works out really well for here. We're going to keep it straight up because we're actually going to be using it. The last setup I had rotated it into a stage monitor, so laying down position. So now it's back upright. There we go. Just make sure it's on properly before we actually try and screw it on. And here we go. We're just going to tack it on with a screw on the top and the bottom, and same thing on the other side, and then we'll get all the screws in between on. Always make sure it's firmly in place before trying to get the screws on. This way you won't have any problems getting the screws attached. And here we go, down to the last screws to just get tightened, and the whole speaker is now put together. There we go. This is all done. All that's left now, so all that's left is to plug it in and turn it on. So now it's plugged in. Let's turn it on. We're going to connect to it and see where we're at. So first we have to come through here. We're going to go into the menu. We're going to go down the Bluetooth. We're going to turn the Bluetooth on. And there we go. Pairing. And let's get our Bluetooth on our phone. There it is. The ICOA-15A. Let's pair to that big guy. There we go, job done there. Go to art list and find ourselves some music to play. Now, of course, I'm just recording this on this little microphone here, so we're just testing it to make sure everything works. So it turns out either I disconnected the actual tweeter by accident. So all this work I should have done before I put the cover on. So next time, by the way, if you're reorienting the cover, you might want to fix it first, because this is what it sounds like now. Does it feel like we're missing something? Maybe the highs? Let's take that cover off and fix it. So here's my mistake. So here's my problem. This connector that came from the actual speaker box in to the cross connector on the front of the unit, when I disconnected it, which I shouldn't even have had to do, I didn't properly put it on. I didn't clip it on place. So let's clip it in there. Let's make sure I got it right on both sides. Oh, look at that. Problem solved. Problem solved. So another ace, do what I say and not what I do. Before you put the cover on, always test your speaker to make sure it's working properly. And there we go. So we've got the ICOA all set up. All I have to do is put the cover back on, so we won't worry about that. It's working perfectly. I'll put some links at the bottom and at the end of this video so you can go see all the other videos, ones where I do sound tests and all that kind of stuff on it. But overall, this is an engineering wonder when it comes to how much time and attention has been put into this product. So I'd like to say thank you to LD Systems for making this product available to me and allowing me the opportunity to tear it apart, because they have no idea that I did this. At the end of the day, years from now, someone's going to want to fix their speaker, and I hope this video is helpful to you. For now, at least you know what kind of quality you can expect when you buy the product when it comes to durability, longevity, and why does it sound so good. There you go. It doesn't happen all the time, but it did certainly work out here. Again, thanks for watching. See you in the next video, and bye for now. Well, let's turn up a bit.
Easy come and easy go. You're an unfading star, a gentle love, the kind that lifts you up, no matter how far apart. I guess you could call it chance, but we know it's more than that. It's like we've always known, been set in stone, unbreakable. It's like I've always dreamed true heart.
So this is a day later after doing the whole video. I forgot to put these guys in. I thought I'd just let you know because you're pretty savvy folks, and you're gonna notice if I forget to do something. You're gonna say, hey, where's the dampening pads? Well, here, this is what I took out during the teardown video. This is gonna go in here and down there, and then everything should be fine again. Never leave those things out.